Mos Eisley, where you never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy. Let's break down the attack on Mos Eisley spaceport for Galactic Assault and Star Wars Battlefront 2. Pretty sure I just hit all of my keywords. We're going to do part 1 today of the map breakdown and the flanking routes for Mos Eisley Space Station in Star Wars Battlefront 2. Yep, it's going to be a two-parter. There's way too much to cover in just one video. So today will be phase 1, and in part 2, we'll take a look at phase 2 and 3. We're going to look at each phase and show where the majority of your teammates are going to be, the routes they'll take, and where you should expect the largest groups of enemies players as well. We'll also cover some flanking routes and where to post if you're playing an AT-ST so you can maximize your points and kills. And as we go through this, if you have something to add, please make sure to post it in the comments down below. The most helpful posts will get pinned so that way everyone can gain from your knowledge. And we're releasing this on Sunday instead of Monday because I'm super excited and just can't wait. Part 2 will be on Wednesday for sure. The overlays you're about to see can be found on StarWarsGaming.net. They were kind enough to allow us to use them for this video, and if you check out the site, you'll see a very detailed overlay that shows the spawn points, objective points, entry points to those objectives, and hints for when you enter each objective point. They did an amazing job, and you really need to place this video on pause, follow the link in the description down below, and check out their overlays and then come back and finish this video. Even better, if you're on a computer, put this video on pause, open a new browser, and then have the overlay up in a separate window while we go over this. That's what I did while I was writing, and I used it as a reference the entire time. If you enjoyed this video and want more like it, be sure to hit that like button and then hit the subscribe and notification button so you don't miss when part 2 is released on Wednesday or when new maps come out. New videos are Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and streams on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 p.m. Central. Just a reminder to everyone who's a subscriber, make sure to check the description for information on how you can win a $50 gift card to the system of your choice. It's open and up until the 14th, so you have until midnight on Wednesday to fill out the survey and enter to win. If you're not a subscriber, it's not too late to hit that subscribe button, and I would love your support. When I say midnight, that's going to be midnight Central Time. That's -6 from Greenwich time. Or Greenwich? I'm not sure how to pronounce that, to be honest, but we're -6 here. So if you're in Europe, it's going to be plus 6 hours from midnight here, basically. Moving on. In phase 1, the Empire will spawn on the southern portion of the map on the red mark, and the rebels will spawn on the northern red mark. In this overlay, green is the location your friends will most likely be sitting, and red is where you'll find the largest clumps of troops if you're on the Empire side. Since we're attacking, we'll primarily be looking at the Imperial experience, and if you're on the defense, just be aware that all you have to do is kill the enemy, so keep positions and flanks in mind, since you can run very similar flanks to get behind them as well. There are 2 objectives to start with. Both points are secure the area and can be contested with just 1 trooper from either side. With that, if you're on the Rebellion, even if you're going to die, if you can get into the point just to delay the capture a little bit, it's worth doing if you're going to lose it. And if you're on the Empire and you're about to go into overtime or you're in overtime, make sure to get onto that point so that way you'll prolong the match until one side is wiped out of the objective, and it'll buy your team time to recapture it. The 2 objective points for phase 1 are the Junkyard, found on the left side of the map, and the Cantina, which is found on the right. Naturally, your team will split to attack the 2 objectives simultaneously, which is great since you don't want everyone going for the same point. However, it is harder to take one objective over the other. Since the Cantina is harder to take, I recommend focusing on getting that one first. The main reason the Cantina is harder and should be captured first is as the game progresses, AT-STs start to come out. The AT-STs can completely block enemy troopers from reaching and reinforcing the Junkyard, and on this diagram, the location where the stars are is where I recommend placing AT-STs. Since the rebels will have to run across an open road, the AT-ST can sit on the road and cut off the spawn to the Junkyard. Placing an AT-ST on the road will kill the majority of reinforcements, and if you place one a little farther back, they can cover anyone who manages to get through. Also, since the Cantina has been taken, it's much easier to attack the backside of the Junkyard, cutting down the reinforcements that way as well if you're just a normal trooper. If we look at the Cantina side, the Cantina is inside the building. The AT-STs are not able to advance to the center of the map to block off the main entrance to the Cantina, which reduces their effectiveness and makes it harder for your friendly troopers to hold the inside. Since the Cantina is also inside the building, you don't really have any support from your air units as well, and you'll actually have to fight through the doorways in order to get in. So now that we've talked about the objectives, how do we get there? You'll notice the majority of players take only the fastest route possible to get to the objective points. The teal here is the path most players will take to get to the Cantina, and the pink will be the path most will take to get to the junkyard. As you can see, the green locations where your teammates stop and sit are generally along those routes. The reason is they tend to get stuck in those spots since that's where they start to see enemy troopers, most likely in the red locations on the overlay, and they'll lose track of pushing the objective and start switching to focus on kills, or at least that's how it feels sometimes. It's perfectly fine to use these routes, but if you're getting stuck and unable to push the objectives, it's time to start thinking about using a flank. Flanks are a great way to clear the enemy troops out of an area or soften them up for your team to push forward. The best part of this map is that there are a ton of different flanking options. You can use the ground, you can use the roofs, you can do a long loop around, or you can simply just go to the other side of the building that everyone's fighting at. There are two main flanking routes that I use, and generally they're longer loops to get me to the objectives. The dark blue route is the Cantina, and the pink route is for the junkyard. We'll start with the benefit of the Cantina flank first. On this one, we're taking a longer loop going around the buildings everyone generally fights at and coming in at the back door of the Cantina near the stairs that leads up to the roof. Generally, there is little resistance along this path. However, occasionally you will see 1 to 2 specialists go over and watch that side. If there is enemies along the path, you'll generally see them where the teal stars are located, so just be on the lookout when you start to turn the corners. Also, once you get inside, there's always going to be at least one enemy trooper sitting in there, and most likely 1 or 2 enemy troopers will be following you in rather quickly, so just be ready for a fight. If you don't want to go straight inside the Cantina, you can go up the stairs to the roof of the Cantina and clear that out, which will make it easier for your team to push forward, and then use the stairs from the roof that lead inside to go into the Cantina to start to contest it. If you're on the Rebellion, you can basically take this same route in order to flank the Empire as they attack the Cantina. You will need to go out of bounds a little, however, and then come back inbounds under the orange awnings, but this will place you behind the majority of Imperial troops who are fighting your friends that are standing on top of the Cantina or in the doorways. Just be sure to be on the lookout for enemy troopers who miss the jump on the awnings because they may fall down on top of you. When it comes to attacking the junkyard, I'd use another long loop to get around. This one is a little bit more difficult though, and we found this path on a "Can I get up there?" and in Galactic Assault, you won't go out of bounds like you do in Blast. For this one, you'll need to jump on the green tube thing that's on a junk pile on the left hand side of the map, and then walk along it till you see the outer ledge of the map. From there, you can jump on top of this ledge and follow it all the way down until you can't follow it any farther, and you'll be equal to the junkyard. This one doesn't really see any enemy troops after you get past the junk pile, since no one expects you from here, and no one watches this path. Again, the teal stars are where you'll see enemy troopers for the most part, and you should easily rack up 2 to 3 kills before the enemy team notices what's going on. Once the Cantina is taken, you can also flank the junkyard pretty easily from the rear. This is probably one of the more dangerous flanks since the entire enemy team is going to be coming from the same spawn points, so the timing and being on guard on this one is key. I wouldn't recommend using this as a primary flanking route, but if you need to get in there to just soften up the enemy team, if you have the tickets left to sacrifice, you can use this flank to do that. Make sure though, if you're an assault, that you have Vanguard ready. If you're specialist, you need to make sure you have infiltration ready. And if you're any class, make sure your grenades are ready. So that way you can take out as many enemy troops as possible before your impending death. If you're an officer, it would be best to use the disruption card since you can shut down the enemy weapons and turrets when you do this and rack up a couple free kills before they recharge. This brings us to the end of Phase 1 and Part 1 for Mos Eisley, and Part 2 will be coming out on Wednesday. I don't want you guys to have to wait an entire week just because I'm long-winded, so on Wednesday we'll cover Phase 2 and 3, and since Phase 3 is rather straightforward on all maps, and Phase 1 is generally the longest and most varied, this will most likely be the format for these guides. If you haven't, or even if you have, make sure to go check out the full overlay on StarWarsGaming.net. They really are amazing and super nice of them to hook us up with these overlays in order to help other players. Thank you all for watching, and as always, I will see you in game.